All right, very, very good question from one of the listeners. The question is about addictions. And we're not talking about like alcohol and, like drugs and stuff like that, but we're talking about hobbies that become addictions. Something more along the lines of anime or Mobile Legends or K-pop and, things like that. Let me give my thoughts. First and foremost, I don't think they're inherently evil. So, for example, anime, I do watch anime. One of my favorites right now is Violet Evergarden. In terms of Mobile Legends, I don't play Mobile Legends, but I play League of Legends Wild Rift. And in terms of K-pop, I don't really know much about K-pop, but K-drama can be very addicting, right? So I don't think these things are inherently sinful, okay? But at the same time, we gotta make sure we're just not addicted to them. So when it comes to addiction and obsession, I gotta say, Christians need to make sure that their main focus and their mission is still God, the kingdom of God, pursuing Christ. And these hobbies, as fun as they are, as great as they are, as stress relieving as they are, these hobbies should not overpower or take so much time away from your thought life, your prayer life, and your emotional life that you're compromising your spiritual growth for these things. There are other stuff, like others, they love basketball. Personally, I enjoy free diving. But these hobbies, like I do so many different things, right? So I am a novelist. I write books. Right now I have a project with one of my novels, and these should not take away what we're called to do, which is to preach, pray for people, preach the gospel, build the kingdom, encourage our church members and ourselves to grow spiritually. The other question, now this question is going to be a little controversial, it might trigger some people, okay? The question is, what about the quote-unquote demonic aspects, the occultism and the witchcraft in Mobile Legends, right? Like, or in anime, when they talk about like chakra or mana or magic or things like that. I just gotta say something, guys. For those of you who don't know, before I became a Christian, I was actually a practicing occultist. So I was an occult practitioner. So if you think of Harry Potter, Dumbledore, things like that, I used to seriously practice those. I wore the rings, I had the wands, literally. So I had like 7 rings and 3 wands. I had my tarot cards. I did all of that stuff before I became a Christian. And coming from that background, and coming from me, who came from that background, I would have to say, I don't really care much about like the mana, the magic, like, oh, this is like occultism stuff. Because here's my problem when it comes to Christian obsession or fixation about these things. I think the real spiritual warfare is not in those things. Like if someone plays Mobile Legends, I don't think anyone thinks okay, I don't really know the characters of Mobile Legends, but let's say there's this character. Oh, I know one character, his name's Lapu Lapu. So no one's gonna play Mobile Legends and say, oh, I'm playing this character named Lapu Lapu and he's got like X amount of mana. I want to have mana and I'm gonna use my mana to do this or that. No one is thinking about those things, right? What I find to be real spiritual warfare is social media with sexy clothing on women, or you watch these YouTube videos where boyfriends and girlfriends are living together and it's normalized, it's a normal thing. Like they're not even engaged, they're just boyfriend and girlfriend and they're living together already, and everyone's okay with it. It's a normalization of monogamous LGBT relationships, or even if it's monogamous, right? It's still LGBT, or videos that promote immorality, and not just immodesty, right? But flirting, all of that stuff, or vanity. So those are the things I'm more concerned about. I don't really care much about, like, when people watch Harry Potter, for example. People say, oh, if you watch Harry Potter, then it's gonna tempt kids to become wizards and witches. I'm like, really? I have never heard in my life, I have never heard of a person who watched Harry Potter and think, I'm gonna be a witch. Nope, I've never heard that. Although I have seen people watch K-drama and they see, oh, it's not K-drama because Korean drama is usually very, very wholesome. But I've seen people watch, for example, what's it called? Supergirl. The CW Arrowverse, Supergirl-verse, Flashverse. And they see, you know, like Arrow sleeping around with so many women. And we see Supergirl dating this guy and that guy. And, you know, sexual immorality is normal for them. Lena Luthor sleeps with this guy or that guy and it's normal. You know, so you've got heroes who do sexually immoral things and it's normalized. Now, those are the things that I have a problem with. Okay, it's not the mana in Mobile Legends, or you know, they use spells in Mobile Legends. Nobody cares. Everyone knows it's fiction and it's a game. It doesn't have any real bearing on reality. So as a Christian, I would say to other Christians, beware that you are deceived by distractions. Spiritual warfare, the devil will distract you with spells and witchcraft in video games, which everybody knows is fiction. And the real temptation, which you and I should focus on and expose, really, is the sexual immorality that is being normalized, the unbiblical lifestyles that are being normalized today in social media, in entertainment, in videos, and etc., that we don't look at and don't talk about because we're so busy talking about spells and witchcraft in a video game that no one really cares about, right? That is what I think we should really pay more attention to. So I know my views here are a little bit controversial, but this is coming from a former occult practitioner, all right? And someone who also knows that what the Bible speaks very clearly against, especially during our day, and what's relevant is the lifestyle choices. It's the sexual immorality choices. It's the relational immorality choices that we have. Occultism, Ouija boards, things like that, that's very rare in the city. That's not a real problem in the city. Okay? So that's my personal opinion. Of course, I'm sure a lot of people will disagree, but, well, we're free to disagree. I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave at least a different perspective on spiritual warfare, and that this also opened your eyes to some other issues that we have maybe overlooked because of a fixation on a specific thing that is not as relevant as we think it was. God bless you guys.